guys, welcome to your lesson. We are going back again to page 91, okay, to see the new content and the let's repeat and let's practice parts. So, let's repeat. A civil right, to retaliate, scrutiny, to omit, a recession, inflation, impartial, to abstain, to resign, to refund, a standard of living, a pay increase, poverty, a poverty line, a treaty, to violate, an agreement, to exchange, a ceasefire, to execute, to surrender, land, a rebel, to rebel, a demand, supply and demand, to demand. Very good. Guys, a civil right, well, it's similar to Portuguese, okay? Civil rights are the rights that each person in society has, okay? Whatever their race, sex, or religion is. Okay, starting from the point that each person is a citizen, okay, every right that that person has is a civil right. To retaliate, also similar to Portuguese, to hurt someone or do something harmful to another person because they have done or said something bad for you, okay? So it's like a revenge, to retaliate, to give to hurt someone back, okay, or to harm someone back. Scrutiny, also similar to Portuguese, but in Portuguese it's a word that we don't use much, okay. Scrutiny is a careful and detailed examination of something in order to get something, some information about it, okay. To omit, also similar to Portuguese. To fail to include somebody or something, or to not tell somebody about something. Okay, to omit, you are not lying, you are omitting. Recession, also similar to Portuguese. A recession is a period when the economy of a country is not successful, and the conditions for business are bad, okay? Inflation, also similar to Portuguese, a general and continuous increase in prices, okay? Impartial, also similar to Portuguese. Impartial is when you do not support any of the two sides of something you are not necessarily involved, but you are not supporting any of the sides involved in an argument or in a fight. To abstain, also similar to Portuguese. To not do something, especially something enjoyable that you think might be bad, okay? To resign. To resign, guys, means to give up a job or a position by telling your employer that you are leaving. Resign. To refund. To refund, guys, is what companies must do to clients that are not happy with their service or with their product. Okay? In some situations, of course, not always. So, it's an amount of money that you get back because you were not happy with the product or because the product broke before you could even open it, okay? A standard of living. Standard of living, guys, is something set by international groups that say what is the minimum that a person might have to live comfortable, okay? To live with comfort. So, a standard of living is defined by the amount of money and comfort people have in a particular society, the level of wealth and comfort people have. And we can also say that it is the degree of comfort that people have in a particular social class, country, etc. Okay? How much of the products and service available they can buy. Okay? That's a standard of living. A pay increase, guys, is when you make a very good job and your employer raises your salary. Okay? So it's a situation in which your salary gets bigger. Poverty is the condition of being extremely poor. So poor is the adjective, poverty is the noun. Poverty line is an official level of income that is needed to achieve basic living standards with enough money for things such as food, clothing, and a place to live. Okay? If a particular society or a particular member of society doesn't have enough money to buy food, clothing, and a shelter, okay, they are considered under poverty line. Okay? Treaty. A treaty, guys, is a written agreement between two or more countries, okay, that is formally approved and signed by their leaders. To violate, similar to Portuguese. To violate means to break or act against something, especially law, an agreement, a principle, or something that should be treated with respect. An agreement. An agreement is a situation in which people have the same opinion, in which they approve or they accept the same thing. To exchange. To exchange, guys, is the act of giving something to someone, okay, and they give you something back. Exchange, okay? A ceasefire. See, guys, we have three different spellings for ceasefire, with hyphen, without hyphen, and all together. They are all correct, okay? The verb to cease means to stop. Remember, I have taught you this before. So, a ceasefire is an agreement, usually between armies, to stop the fighting, to stop the battles, okay? So, and during the ceasefire is when normally discussions about peace take place, or even treaties take place, okay? To execute, very similar to Portuguese. To execute means to kill someone as a legal punishment. To do or to perform something, especially in a planned way. When you have planned something to do and all goes well, we can say that the execution is going well. Okay? But to execute can also be applied to a computer. Okay? To make a computer program or instruction work, okay, to execute a program, for example, okay? To surrender. To surrender, guys, means to stop fighting and admit defeat, okay? If you surrender to an experience or to an emotion, you simply stop. You stop to try, or you stop to try to control it. Okay? To give something that is yours to someone else because you have been forced to do so, or because it's necessary to do so. Okay? You are so surrendering to something. Okay? Land. Guys, note that this word land is written with capital letter, okay? This word land is a noun. The Lent is a period of, it's the 40 days before Easter, okay? And during this period, the Christian religion, Catholics, especially Catholics, they stop doing some things that they enjoy. Okay? For example, there are most families that they don't eat meat during Lent. Okay? Or they don't drink alcohol during Lent. Okay? A rebel is the person, to rebel is the verb. Guys, rebel, we have a very similar word in Portuguese for that too. A rebel is a person who is opposed to the political system in their country and tries to change it using force. Okay? Or simply a person who does not like rules or does not like authority. And they show this by behaving different from most people. Okay? So to rebel means to refuse to obey rules or to refuse to obey people in authority. Okay? And to fight against the government. A demand. A demand, guys, is a strong request. It's like an order. I demand you to do that. I am ordering you to do that. A demand can also be a need for something to be sold and supplied. Demand is also the desire to buy goods. A need for goods or services that customers want to buy or use. Or simply the fact of customers buying goods and using services in an economy and the amount they buy. This is the demand. Okay? To demand. To demand is to ask for something forcefully. Okay, that means to order something in a way that shows that you do not expect to be refused. To need something such as time, effort, or a particular quality. Okay? Very good. Guys, let's go now to page 94. Let's repeat because we have seen the grammar point last lesson. Okay? So, guys, let's repeat. The man said that the citizens' civil rights were being violated when the border was closed. Will there be a recession next year because of the level of inflation? After much scrutiny, the chief executive has decided to award a pay increase to all those in the marketing department. Standards of living have risen in the past 20 years, reducing the level of poverty. A treaty was signed as a way of agreement between the two sides that a ceasefire would be followed. He resigned from his job after he couldn't stay impartial when his boss demanded all women wear skirts to work. She said she wanted a refund because her new phone would not turn on. The level of supply and demand in the agricultural area is very unstable. Alan said he wanted to retaliate after his colleague, Captain Peters, had been executed by the rebels. History books omitted the information that the enemy had surrendered when they had been close to defeat. Very good. Let's practice, guys. Don't forget to pause the video before I answer the question, okay? So, are civil rights an important part of a country's constitution? Yes, civil rights are an important part of a country's constitution. Have you ever thought about going on an exchange program? Where would you like to go to? Yes, I have thought about going on an exchange program. I would like to go to Italy. What about you? Where would you like to go? There are still many people living on or below the poverty line nowadays. Yes, there are still many people living on or below the poverty line nowadays. What happens when a country suffers from high inflation? When a country suffers from high inflation, loan costs, savings, costs of bills and food, etc. increase quicker than the value of your money does, making it more difficult to pay for things. Which country had the highest inflation in 2019? How does its level of inflation compare to inflation worldwide? Venezuela had the highest inflation in 2019. Its level of inflation was 282,972%, whilst inflation worldwide was 3.6%. What did Emily say about why she had abstained from voting in the election? Emily said that she had abstained from voting in the election because she did not like either candidate. According to William, why has the report been under great scrutiny? William said the report had been under great scrutiny because the police were sure there was something being hidden. What did the teacher say was one of the oldest treatises in history? The teacher said that one of the oldest treatises in history was Peace of Calais that was signed in 449 BC to end the Greco-Persian Wars. What do some people abstain from during the period of Lent? Some people abstain from eating chocolate, drinking alcohol, or eating meat during the period of Lent. Is the standard of living in your country high or low? What could be done to improve it? I think the standard of living in my country is low. Things that could be done to improve it are, I want your answers on my WhatsApp, okay? If you bought a pair of shoes and when you arrived home you realized there was a hole in one of them, would you take them back to the shop and ask for a refund? Yes. If I bought a pair of shoes and when I arrived home I realized there was a hole in one of them, I would take them back to the shop and ask for a refund. What does a ceasefire mean? A ceasefire means an agreement between two or more armies to stop fighting whilst peace is discussed. Is it common when something becomes popular that the supply and demand for the product increases, as does the price? Yes, it's common when something becomes popular that the supply and demand for the product increases, as does the price. What does a Catholic priest abstain from when he becomes a priest? A Catholic priest abstains from getting married and having a sexual relationship when he becomes a priest. If someone slapped you in the face, would you retaliate? Yes, if someone slapped me in the face, I would retaliate. Who said that the Queen demanded that the dinner was changed? Paul said that the Queen had demanded that the dinner was changed. Is it easy for an employee to talk to their boss about a pay increase? No, it isn't easy for an employee to talk to their boss about a pay increase, but it's difficult. When someone resigns from their job, is it their decision to leave their boss, or their bosses? I will say it again. When someone resigns from their job, is it their decision to leave or their bosses? When when someone resigns from their job, it is their decision to leave. What type of profession is it difficult to be impartial in? A profession that is difficult to be impartial in is journalism. What did the professor say about Rosa Parks? The professor said that Rosa Parks had been a very important person in the fight for civil rights for the black population of the United States of America. When people are gossiping, is it easy for them to omit some details and create others? Yes, when people are gossiping, it is easy for them to omit some details and create others. Is it common for teenagers to rebel against their parents' wishes? Yes, it's common for teenagers to rebel against their parents' wishes. Are civil rights violated all around the world every day? Yes, civil rights are violated all around the world every day. What did the economists say about the recession? The economists said that the recession was going to continue for the next 2 years and that small businesses would suffer the most. When people divorce, does it commonly take a long time for an agreement to be reached? Yes, when people divorce, it commonly takes a long time for an agreement to be reached. What did the shop assistant say yesterday when she refunded your money for the washing machine? The shop assistant said that the company was sorry that my washing machine had broken when she refunded my money yesterday. Do small children sometimes demand a lot of their parents' attention? Yes, small children sometimes demand a lot of their parents' attention. What is a poverty line? A poverty line is the official level of income that is needed to achieve a basic standard of living, with enough money for food, clothes, and somewhere to live. Okay guys, this was today's new content, and I hope to see you soon. Bye-bye!